So, the first thing you're writing down on your cuaderno is just el pretérito. So everybody write that down. El pretérito. And the word that literally translates to is the preterite. Is anyone familiar with the preterite?
That's the past
Tense. It's the past tense. So I'm going to just say past tense. Now the thing is, in Spanish, they have more than one past tense. That's the bad news. And you will get to learn all about other past tense forms when you go to the high school. But we are just going to focus on the preterite, and then it gets more confusing when you get into the other past tense. The preterite is basically something that happened and it's done and over. I think of it as the one and done. So preterite is one and done. It's kind of, it's over with. So the other past tense is something that you did like over a period of time. So something you did for a while. Okay, so before I get into any questions, I want to just introduce this entire form with the endings. The endings are going to be different than they are in the present tense, because obviously it's the same way in English. The endings that we use to say I run and I ran, that's different, okay? Or I spoke and I speak, it's different. So same thing in Spanish. So AR verbs only. So let's start. These are just AR verbs. We'll get into ER, IR later. So the first one we're going to start with, I decided to use mirar. I'll get that. Okay, mirar. Do you guys remember what's mirar mean?
To look.
To look at or to
Watch.
watch. To look at or watch. So let's make a verb chart for this.
Didn't we already learn this? Stop it. It's different
We
words.
learned it in the present tense. So now we're learning it in the past tense. So how to say it in the past tense. So instead of to say I look, we're going to say I looked, okay? Or instead of saying I watch, I watched. So the way this works is same concept. You take off the AR and you add an ending on each of these. So the first one, the yo form, and we don't have to write the sujetos anymore because we've got that. We're good on that. So the only thing we have to write is the word mire. So just an E with an accent is what you do for the yo form. Mire. And then the to form is miraste with an ASTE on the end. And then we have the usted form, which is simply miró. 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 And then we'll get into the plurals here in just a second. Okay, so the plurals, we have miramos, would mean we watched, and then the vosotros, mirastes, and the ustedes form, miraron. Okay, so mire, miraste, miró, miramos, mirastes, miraron.
Those are the endings.
Those are the endings. So really, the only things that we are needing to memorize, for the most part, are those endings. That's what we're focusing on for this section, this unit. I'll get questions in just a second. Let's do one more together. Nadar. Do you guys remember what nadar means?
To disagree.
What would make you
Natación was a sport.
Oh.
to swim?
So nadar is to swim. Okay, so our verb chart, we've got singular, plural. Okay, so how are you going to say I swam?
Not it.
Not did.
Nade. What about you swam?
Nadaste.
Nadaste.
Nado. For the
And then nado. Nadamos. Then what?
Nadaste.
Nadastes. And
Nadaron.
nadaron. Muy bien. Okay. And so, aste, o, amos, estáis, aro. Es muy simple, ¿no?
Sí.
Es muy fácil. Muy fácil. Sí.
So why is we swim and we watch the same as
Did everybody hear what Alberto said? Look up here for a second. We have the nosotros form. How is it that you say we watch in the present tense?
we watch?
Miramos. How do you say we watched in the past tense?
Miramos.
Miramos. Okay? So it's kind of confusing. What you have to do is look at context clues to see if you're talking about something that's in the present tense or in the past.
Like it says yesterday.
Yep, exactly. If it says ayer, you know it's going to be past tense. All right. There are excepciones. All right. So there's a group of verbs. They are ones that end in car, gar, and zar. Okay. So these are. Let me write them up here. So verbs that end in ZAR, CAR, and GAR. This makes up a grupo that is irregular, but it's only irregular in, try to guess which form.
AR.
Preterite.
Yes. The yo form, okay? That's a lot of times what happens, only in the yo form. Solo yo, okay? So let me give you some examples of those. I'll give you one of each, and then we can talk about these a little bit. Okay, so the first example, practicar. What's practicar mean?
Practice.
Practice, okay?
Practice on. Practice on.
So the way this works is only in the yo form, like I said. You're going to change this C right here to a QU. Practique.
Is it like
Right?
the only difference?
Yep.
Oh, thank goodness.
The C changes to a QU. Practique. Why do you think that is? Can anyone figure it out?
Because they want to be French.
Think about it. If it were a C, what would that sound like? It would be practice. Okay?
Practice.
So the QU makes that hard C sound that they're wanting to retain.
Okay.
They're wanting to retain the that hard C. Okay, so practique. So what goes here? Next. Oops, I forgot. There's a C in there. Practique. Make sure that you spell it right, unlike me. So
Practicaste.
okay, so practicaste. Okay? Practicaste. And then we have
Practical.
practico. Practicamos. What would go here?
Practicaste.
Practicastes. And the last one? Practicaro. Okay? So, again, the endings are exactly the same. Nothing weird about the endings. The only thing that's different is right here.
Yeah.
That's it.
There's no accents on the Lesotho. Is it the same for Czar and Gar too?
It's a little different. It's going to be a little different. Okay, so everyone has a chance to do this? Okay, do you guys remember the verb jugar? What's jugar mean?
Play.
To play. Okay, so jugar, to play. So it ends in G-A-R, so you know it's going to be funky.
And it's also irregular.
It's also irregular, but here's the thing. It's only irregular like that in the present tense. The U to UE, the U to UE only happens in the present tense. In the past tense, it stays a U the whole time. In the past tense, however, the G is what's going to get weird. So let me show you how it gets weird. In the yo form, it gets an extra U. Jugué. So maybe make sure to write that down. Jugué.
Michael.
Okay. Next we have jugaste, jugó, jugamos,
I'm sorry.
jugastes, and finally jugaron.
Yay.
Again, same endings. Aste, o, amos, astais, aron. The weird part is this extra U, okay?
So always the one before the AR, basically. The one
Right.
that changes.
Yep. Okay, and you'll see that in our final example. Empezar, I just said means what?
To begin.
To begin. And we remember that empezar was one of our stem changers also. What was the stem changing rule? Do you remember?
I-E.
Yep, this middle one, E to IE. You do not do that in the preterite form.
Okay.
So basically all those rules that we learned for the present are only for the present. You've got to kind of forget about that when using a different verb form. So what we do with this one though, this Z changes, okay? The Z just changes to a C. Empecé. Do you see how I did that? The Z just changes to a C. Empecé. The rest is normal. Empezaste. Empezó. Empezamos.
Either are.
Empezastes. And finally, empezaron. Empezaron. What did I do here?
Else?
I messed up.
You
Hold
can
on.
do the right thing.
It's
I never like
minutes.
I don't like it.
Jugugas.
I don't like it.
You guys,
Either are.
you guys. Put these down. So again, we've got the same endings, nothing's different except right here. Okay. Preguntas.